You're listening to Pyro Media Network, setting radios ablaze since 2017.
Hello, everybody. It is me, Fallon, and I am back with another episode of Put It in the Manual. I think this is episode 6. We're moving and grooving, and today we are going to add entry number 6 into the manual. The summertime has been weird. I guess this is like family reunion season for a lot of people, and you get to reminiscing on your people and your family. Like, it's been so much going on. Summer has just been making me think about good old days and down south weekends and visiting my grandparents and hitting the highway and going to Louisiana. And I think for a lot of Black people, thinking about the summertime is like the biggest time where you start longing for your family or thinking about home or thinking about where your roots came from. For me, my family is hailing from the great state of Louisiana, but I am a through and through Texas girl all the way. Louisiana, though, it's just something about Louisiana that just really, it just as if I am a part of a bigger story. And a lot of the manual entries are going to kind of take us back to thinking about family and history and kind of like your legacy. And I think today for this entry, I kind of want to go full circle and kind of bring us back to the meaning, the purpose, the reason behind the manual. And that was me longing for a semblance of legacy, a piece of myself that I could forever save that goes beyond a moment in time or a whisper in the wind, like something that was going to have a little bit more permanency. Now, I could look at family pictures all day and reminisce on all the stories and all the moments and memories that I shared with my family. And I hate that we didn't record a lot of those conversations and we didn't take the time to really document our history. I'm thinking like my grandparents, if they were here, they would almost be 100 years old. This summer, my grandfather would have turned, I think, 100, and my grandmother would have been 96. Even my daddy would have been getting up there. He would have been 93. And it just, all those years of living in history just gone with them. Like, I feel like you carry on a legacy and your people keep having more people, and some stories get passed down, some memories, some lessons get passed down. But ultimately, if nobody is preserving those moments and those memories, what happens to them? They pretty much disappear. So I kind of want to get into the topic of legacy that's kind of beyond biology. And that's what Put It in the Manual is for me, my little piece of legacy. I feel like society has kind of convinced us that at a certain age, you haven't really done anything with yourself if you haven't had children of your own. And society may or may not have taken into account that maybe that might not be everybody's portion, or maybe it is, and just the timing isn't there, or God is going to bless you and me when the time is right, but we don't know when that time will be. So I kind of want to focus on legacy a little bit beyond the biology, and that's what we're going to put in the manual today. A little history lesson on how to salvage your own history and make sure that something outside of DNA is inherited and left behind on this world. So for me, I know that I've done a lot of work, not only as an attorney, but as someone who has kind of dedicated my life to community building and focusing on causes that speak life into people, that kind of give people the opportunity to get together and grow and learn and do things together. And I think that can be considered a sort of a legacy. It's something that is tangible. It's something that I can go and ask someone about. It's something that I can kind of share a story with about what was. There are people who can say that Fallon may have spoken life into them at an event that I may have hosted, or my clients. I'm a part of their history. We are not related, but I did something that goes beyond the confines of blood and biology. I did something intentionally that made a change in their life, and because of that, I am now a part of their legacy. I kind of just want to let people know, and this is for friends, this is for family, this is for strangers, this is for anyone who is tuning in and kind of on this journey with me through the manual, that there are ways to build a powerful legacy without physically giving birth to it. We get on ourselves so hard, and even me, I try not to be too depressed or overly emotional with things, because I know that your girl is not a spring chicken, but miracles have been happening, and I've been seeing a lot of miracles. But conversations with friends, just scrolling on Instagram, just different conversations. There's been a lot of negativity put into being a woman of a certain age without a child. And as a married woman, you sometimes let society make you feel as if you are a failure if you have not provided your spouse with an heir, or you don't have someone signing your name, their names as your last name. Like, society has really done a number on us. And I just want to kind of give a little bit of encouragement to everybody, and I guess myself, as I'm going through these manual moments and months away from turning 45. Just a little walk together, little journey down what we can do to really solidify our mark in the world. And I just want y'all to know it's more to it. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with multiplying and populating the earth. This is not what this conversation is saying. This is just saying that there is a legacy that can be left behind that goes beyond biology, and we can define our legacies as enduring different things, like our values, the actions that we do, or even just like the people that we mentor. There's a big freedom of choice here, and sometimes our destiny does not always align with our choice or our hopes or wishes. But there are some things that we can control, and there's power in that. And I just kind of want to focus on some of those ways today. And we're going to put those in the manual. So I kind of briefly mentioned mentorship. I dedicate a lot of time, and I think I always have, to adopting people. In high school, I had a whole crew of people that I referred to as my kids, and I find that even as an adult, at this big age, I'm steady going around adopting grown people. Most of them might even be close enough to being my peers, but for the most part, they are younger attorneys or younger women that I see something in myself in, or I see a yearning for more, that I can kind of guide them in the right direction, or lend my experience and my expertise, my opportunities that I've been blessed with to them as inspiration. Mentorship is so important to me, and I have so many people that I have been proud to share conversations with, to share moments with, to kind of watch them grow, to kind of sit back and really see how much of an impact I had just by being that person in their lives. And sometimes the best people to try to mentor or help are people that you are not related to. Auntie gets the auntie life. Auntie, and it's hard sometimes because the one thing these nieces and nephews are quick to let you know is that you are not their mama. And I love the power of the auntie, especially in the Black community. But baby, once they hit a certain age, I'm seeing that it's harder to tell someone who is related to you what you think they should do versus someone who is pretty much a total stranger to you. I love my kiddos to death, but I feel like that generation is kind of tired of auntie telling them what to do. A lot of people are wanting to bump their heads or get things out of the mud their own way. So the mentor thing, I'm glad that there is such a term as legacy beyond biology, because I've been able to talk to so many people, so many willing, open, ready to learn, ready to grow people that look up to me, that see something in what I have going on that inspires them and leads them to want to consider me someone that they would listen to, that they would take advice from, and that they would trust to guide them in the right direction. So I'm excited to be able to have a part in so many different lineages and so many legacies in the making just by being able to be in that role. And I kind of want to encourage you to not gatekeep or shy away from those relationships that may not look reciprocal on the outside, but provide so much a wealth of just currency, cultural currency, just the benefit of seeing someone enthusiastic about hearing your story. And like I said, I regret not recording every conversation, every moment, every little story shared by my ancestors and elders that are no longer here. But I feel that being a mentor and taking a part in those roles is a good way to just hold on and polish a little piece of your own legacy. And I just really am big on that. I wasn't someone who particularly grew up with a lot of women or people that weren't in my family that took the time out to kind of put me under their wing. And I'm very grateful for the ones who did see something in me, that wanted to take the time to pour into me a little bit. I have my little list of shout outs, and I'm grateful for those ladies, but there is a lot of space for you to archive your story, for you to impart your wisdom on other people. And I think mentoring is a big part of it. So don't ignore the young person who might be in your building, kind of shadowing you in the distance and wanting to see what you have going on, or maybe intimidated to even come up and talk to you. A lot of times we don't even realize the facade that others get caught up in when they look at us, when we're in our moments of doubt. There are usually 5 other people in the room who are looking at you as the model for how they want to shape their career or shape their life or even move in a certain way. that you are. So that's a big one for me. Whew. I think right now I'm gonna let y'all marinate on that and kind of think about it a little bit. Have you adopted any kids, quote unquote, of your own that may not be ones that came from inside of you, but you have had the ability to put something metaphorically inside of them? And if not, what's stopping you from doing that? I'll leave y'all on that pause and pay some bills real quick.
Network is like no other streaming network. We are not controlled by corporate sponsors or political influence. We are a network created by the people, for the people. Our people, that is. Representation is so important, and we are focused on providing that. So spread the word. Follow us on all major social media platforms at Pyro Media Network. Or you can visit our website at www.pyromedianetwork.com, and we will take your viewing experience to the next level.
Okay, and we're back. And we are on the hardcore still topic of legacy. And we're on that legacy beyond biology tip today. I'd be remiss if I didn't share a little bit of professional and legal legacy tools with people. So I kind of want to give you a little brief talking to about some ways that legal and financial tools play a part in creating legacy. And I'm going to say it again, beyond biology. Strategic planning. I say this all the time, and there's so many conversations that I probably should have had with my elders, but 20 years ago or 15 years ago, I wasn't thinking about the day that they would not be here. And even as an attorney, sometimes I skirt around conversations when it comes to estate planning and wills and things of that sort with family and even my husband, because nobody wants to think about the worst happening, or nobody really wants to visit a situation where you're having to divvy up property and all these things. Like, shame on me, the attorney, who necessarily did not like to talk about that. But we probably should have had a plan for my grandparents and their grandparents and aunts and different people who walk this earth that are a part of my biological legacy. And I know us as kinfolk sometimes don't take those types of preparations into consideration either. And I'm telling you, as an attorney, not your attorney, but an attorney, that we need to get past all that. I did wills for my parents. I did my grandma's will, and that was it. I didn't do my own. I haven't done my husband's. I haven't done anybody else's. Well, no, I take that back. I did my aunt and my uncle's. But other than that, I have not taken the liberty of doing those things. And life has a way of reminding you that you need to be serious sometimes and get it together. So one of the first things that I think I will be planning, and I encourage you all to plan too, is some type of estate plan. The internet will lead you astray. We see all types of slides and scroll down our timelines and see people spreading halfway information about trust and estates and different deeds and ways to kind of get around probate and doing what's right. I don't know what you got in your pockets. I can't count your coins, but I know you own something. Um, Even if you don't have children to leave it to, the people who are going to be responsible for taking care of these things, especially if you are someone who does not have a big family or siblings or people that you're expecting to outlive, it's going to be on you. We are all about preserving our legacy around here, so I'm going to suggest, and I'm going to take my own advice, that's probably on my summer to-do list before the summer is even over. I will have a will, and so will my husband, that can take care of your property, your personal property, your real property, your house, all these things. Get one. Now, the nuances on where it's going to go and what's going to happen when you leave this place, it varies from state to state. And like I said, I am an attorney, but I'm not your attorney. So you will have to consult someone in your area, in your jurisdiction, that can kind of walk you through that. But if you have something that you want to stay in your legacy, you got to have some type of paperwork written down from it. So look into trust, look into getting some type of strategic plan together. Talk to an attorney, see if what you have even needs to go through probate. There may be other means, there may be other ways to get what you want out of what you have, and have a way to guarantee that it lives beyond you. There are different scholarships that you can create, endowed scholarships sometimes. Think about creating a permanent scholarship for your alma mater, maybe, or someone who is similarly situated to you. There are ways to be a blessing and to leave your name on people's lives. Put a stamp on it and talk with someone about setting one of those things up. If you do have property or business assets that you want to kind of direct to a land trust or a nonprofit, those are also ways to preserve and think about that good old legacy that you want to leave if you don't have a family member or an heir to leave it to. There are ways and means to get around it, and I really want our community to get comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations, because the world is not going to wait for us, and I don't even want to get all preachy, but we got to talk about these things, and I want it to be boldly written in the manual that Fallon told you about it today, on this day that you were listening, and hopefully putting it in your personal manual, because I don't want the state, the county, or the city to take your hard-earned whatever and use it however they want to. That's almost like a slap in the face in how so many communities of color have lost their name and lost their heritage and lost their identity because people were afraid to kind of have those conversations and reach beyond the legacy building. They didn't want to talk about what could happen or what would happen. And that's very unfortunate, because a lot of memories, a lot of history, a lot of permanency has been lost with that. And I don't want that to happen to y'all. And I don't want it to happen to me either. So that's one thing that I am, again, imploring you to get together. So let's talk about another way that I want us to be careful that we are not falling into the trap of thinking that the only way to preserve or leave your mark on this world is by having an heir or leaving an heir on this world. I kind of want you to imagine what would happen if you decided not. Hold on 1 second, Kwame. I think someone's at my door. Pausing. Imagine what it would look like if you decided not to pass down everything you worked hard for. Just think of all the ways that you have been radically blessed, all the stuff you've accumulated, all the things you own that bring a smile to your face, all the tangible items that you have looked at every day that have meaning to you, that bring you joy. Just imagine if none of that existed and brought joy to anyone else once you leave this earthly place. It makes me sad, and it really just, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth while I'm here collecting all this stuff and all these things and not having some type of plan in place on what to do with them. So yeah, I just want everybody to live intentionally and think about what to do with all the stuff and things that we've collected. I kind of want to bring us home on this conversation. Legacy is something that it should be on the forefront of your mind, regardless of if you are 20, 30, or 40, or even 50. It's something that we can start thinking about now. It's something that we can plan for. We can find joy in knowing that we made our mark on this place and on people. We can find value in our words and think about ways to put them down on paper, put them out there in the world so that they can live beyond your wildest dreams and travel farther than you ever could and hopefully land on the ears of the right person. Think about ways that you can pass on your memories, your things to someone else. So many charities to donate to, so many children who don't have parents or don't have the support that they need, that are looking for someone with your expertise and your experience and your peace of mind to share with them. Consider being a mentor. Consider volunteering at a place that speaks to your heart or a place that others can find value in what you have to give. It's not lost on deaf ears that we perceive legacy a lot of times how society has told us to. It's not lost on me that our dreams may not be aligning with what is our reality. But one thing I have learned is that you can kind of take control of it. You have the power to shift your thinking and reframe what you have going on. There are more ways than one to put your name out there. There are many ways to make an impact. And there are certainly ways to preserve your legacy beyond just biology. I don't want y'all to be discouraged or think that your life is not full as it is right now. And I have to tell myself this all the time. I may not end up being great granny who hosts the family barbecue every Sunday and gets the opportunity to laugh and share stories about the 2010s with my grandchildren. And maybe life will change. Maybe life will throw me a curveball and that will be my reality. But right now, I know that I can control what I do and how I do it and who I do it with. I know that I can give and share my advice and my experience and connections with the world and make sure that a piece of me is surpassing my wildest dreams and expectations and continuing forward and making a mark in this world. And I really want y'all to just put that in the manual. Think about it. Preserve your legacy. Write it down. Make it real. Tell someone about it. Figure out what you want it to be. You, your name, your image, your reputation, your thoughts, the way that you did a certain thing or the way that you thought about a certain thing and how you navigated your way through it. All of these are things that are worth preserving and deserve to be preserved in history somewhere. Podcasting or writing books or storytelling may not be your jam, but there are other ways to make sure that pieces of you live far beyond your wildest dreams. And we have that power right now to put our legacy, put a stamp on it, put it in ink, solidify it, and make sure that it continues forward in this world. And I hope I have given you some motivation to do so. We're too important and wise and valuable to our families and lineages. And even if we aren't great grandma, whoever or whatever, don't think that it stops with you. Somebody is going to remember your story. Somebody is going to remember something you told them. Somebody is going to have a success story just because you believed in them or opened the door for them. And we really have to start reframing that as collectively putting our legacy together. I don't want my story to just disappear down the line. Pictures only last so long, and once we stop taking them and sharing them, nobody's printing out pictures anymore. That might be obsolete the next 20 years from now. It's going to be the things you did, the things you spoke about and spoke up on that are going to be making the real difference. And I just want that manual to reflect that good old Fallon Vaughn told you so. And I'm working on my piece of the pie. This is not the end for me and my name and the story that I have to share with the people. And yeah, put that in the manual. And that's it. That's all I got. I'll drop the mic on that one. But yeah, preserve your legacy. It's yours and it's worth preserving. It's worth putting out there. It's worth it. It's just worth it.
This episode is brought to you by Pyro Media Network, produced by Pyro Media Productions, setting brands ablaze since 2017. Thank you for listening.